Hi, my name is Gisela Marti, Creative Director for Tammy Taylor Nails. The technique that I'm going to be sharing with you today, it is called Baroque touches. It is super easy, but it will make your client nails look super elegant. The guest artists, Tammy Taylor Gel Gel Color Polishes and Gel Art Paints. Are you ready? So let's get started. The products that we are going to need for this Baroque touches technique would be the following. We're going to start with the Gel Art Paint White. As the Gel Gel Color Polishes, you need the Muse, you need the Chateau Top, you need the Everyday Aubergine, Seychelles Beige, Flawless Foundation, and Flawless Finish. As tools, the bowl striper brush and the flat gel brush. We also need the Clean It, the oil, and the small crystal dappen dish. One of the important things that we need to have in consideration when we are working with the Baroque technique, it is the background. It is important that we use whether it's pastel colors or light shade colors. In this particular case, we have over here a light gray. And this would be the step-by-steps. The first thing that you do is application of the Flawless Foundation. You're going to cure, if you're using the UV, for 2 minutes, and if you're using LED, for 1 minute. Second step would be the application of the colors, and you're going to apply 2 coats. Same curing time. Finally, you're going to seal the whole nail with the Flawless Finish. And it would be the same curing time. 2 minutes if you're using UV, 1 minute if it's LED. Right now, my nail is completely prepared, and we are going to start with the Baroque technique. I'm going to be using a flat gel brush, and it's going to be on a straight position on my Gel Art Paint White. And I'm going to touch the end of the brush. Again, I'm going to touch the end of the brush, and that's as much paint as we are going to use. Using the sweeping technique, we're going to start by placing it in an angle and then going all the way around. Don't worry if you don't have it all. You just go back, take some color, and apply by opening the brush into the nail. Back again. Pick up some paint at the end of the brush, and the same technique. As you open the brush, it would be less paint. And the bottom, we're going to do the same thing, and you're going to choose whatever shape or direction you would like to be on this technique. I'm going to come from the top, from the bottom, and swiping the brush sideways. Bring it down. If you see that you have too much paint in any area, you can go back again and do exactly the same movement, because you should have less paint. Now that I have all the shapes that I want, I'm going to cure under UV for 2 minutes, but if you're using LED, it would be 1 minute. Okay, now that is completely cured, I'm going to use my bowl striper, the very tip of the bowl striper, and I'm going to take a small amount of the paint. As you see, it's a small amount, okay? Now I'm going to emphasize by bringing like teardrops. Place it and pull it. I'm going to actually outline certain areas of the design. Now, if I take a little bit more, then I'm going to have a deeper or a higher, in this case, teardrop, see? So I place it on those areas that I really want this design to stand up. And I come back again over here and I go all the way down. And if I want to create, like in this particular case over here, I'm going to place it and pull it. But I want to actually bring a curve. So I'll do it because those are the details that are going to give this design the Baroque touches. Okay, so I'm going to decide in this area what I'm going to do. And I'm going to bring that teardrop all the way, and then you go slow so it becomes thinner. So start to be thick, and then it will go all the way from thick to thin. In this case, I'm doing exactly the same thing. Okay? Back again over here. I want to put another heavy bold touch in this area just to emphasize and bring that 3D. Same thing in this area. I'm going to move the nail so you can see how I'm going to place it and come slowly making it thinner. In this position, I'm going to bring some teardrops. So I'm going to place it and then going from thick to thin. Place it, thin. From the top, the same movement. I'm going to come now on this area and I'm going to put some teardrops starting from long to shorter. Now it's taking some shape, the design, and looking beautiful. Okay, on this area over here, I really actually want to emphasize this particular area, so I'm going to make it a little bit thicker. I'm going to put some teardrops on this empty space. As you see, I'm going from thick all the way to thin. Now you're going to keep doing this movement on the areas that you want until the design is completed. So I'm going to come with one over here, and then I'm going to pull it very thin. Once I finish all the details that I want, then I'm going to put it to cure. Remember, if you're using UV, you're going to cure for 2 minutes. And if you're using LED, you're going to cure for 1 minute. And I finish. So now I'm going to put it to cure. Okay, now it's completely cured. And what I want to do is to bring out even more the design by shadowing certain areas. In this particular case, since I use a light gray, I'm going to use at least 2 shades darker of the color that I use on the background. And a tiny bit, just a tiny bit, I'm going to place it in certain areas. Like, for example, in this particular case over here. Once I place it, I'm going to diffuse it completely. I just want to see a small shadow, okay, in this particular, in between the teardrops. I want to make it a little bit darker. On this area where I have these teardrops, I want to bring, you can see immediately that you place it, how does it change completely the whole background. And this is not going to be in every place. This is going to be just in a few areas to bring the design out. So in this particular area, it's darker. You can see the difference between the light and the dark. Okay, maybe I want to also put over here in this area so I can see that swirl better. back again. I can even go inside and shadow the inside. Shadow the inside so I can see the shape that I did better. Remember, it's just a tiny bit of paint, not much, just a tiny bit. And I'm going to also put a little bit in this area where I have this swirl for separation between the both shapes. And this is it. Now I'm going to cure 2 minutes because I'm using an UV, but if you're using LED, 1 minute. Okay, this is already cured. As you see the difference from the light background and the shadow area, it makes the design to pop out. And everything that is left right now to do, it is by taking a little bit of the flawless finish with your bold striper, and you are going to seal every area that you shadowed. Very important, because if you're using gel color polishes and you do not seal it, when you clean the nail, it's going to disappear. So seal only that area and then cure 2 minutes if you're using UV and 1 minute if you're using LED. It's completely done. Now when we come back, we're going to do another design on a lighter background. All right, so here we are with a lighter color nail, and the steps are the same. The first step would be the application of the flawless foundation, then the application of 2 coats of the color. You're going to seal with a flawless finish, and each one of those coats are going to be cured if you're using UV, 2 minutes, and if you're using LED, 1 minute. We're going to take our flat gel brush on the same position, straight position, and you're going to take the gel art paint just on the very tip of the brush. And I'm going to start on the center of the nail. So I'm going to place it, and then I'm going to drag the brush in a sweeping technique. Again, I'm going to take as my starting points right where I started for the top, but this time it's going to be on the bottom. So place it and drag that brush all the way to the end. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to place it right on the center and drag the brush. If you see that it's not enough paint, then go back again. Place it and drag. Now the bottom area, same way. Drag all the way to the center. There we are. And my last shape would be from the bottom of the mask all the way down. Now you see over here was interrupted, so I'm going to drag again, opening the brush bristle, and it's done. Now I'm going to cure, because it's UV, 2 minutes, but if you're using LED, it would be 1 minute. Okay, now that it's completely cured, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do exactly the same thing that we did on the first design. I'm going to take with my bold striper a little bit on the very tip of the brush, and I'm going to emphasize the areas that I want to outline. Like in that particular case, it's long teardrops. Okay, over here, we're going to do exactly the same thing. Okay. On the top area, since what we have over here is a mask, I want to make a separation from one side of the mask from the other top part of the mask. Okay, same thing over here on the other side. Place it and drag. place it and move it so it can be thinner. So you place it and then very slowly you get that thin appearance. I'm going to come over here on the bottom part and the same thing, I'm going to place it and come down. Hey, doesn't matter if it doesn't go all the way down, that's just fine, it's okay. Place it and bring it down. Right here on the center, I'm gonna do another one. I'm gonna place it and I'm going to bring it close to the end of the other just to give that detail, and from the bottom all the way up. Okay. Now you see, every time that you put one of those teardrops, it will give you a different effect. Now on this area, I'm going to place it on the center and I'm going to come slowly to get a thin line. And I'm going to add a few teardrops on the outside, on the other side, inside of the mask. Okay, on this particular case, the opposite. I'm going to come from thin all the way, because you can design inside and a small swirl, and the same thing on the other side. Place it on the bottom. Keep placing. You choose those places where you want to put those details so it gives you that Baroque details. There we go. On this area, I want to add a few teardrops. Place it. See, the great thing of this bow striper is that it will give you the control for you to place, pull, and give that thin look. Place it. There we go. I want to swirl that area. Move it again. And I'm going to put some teardrops coming up. Place it. Pull. Place it. And pull. The slower you pull, the thinner is going to be that line. Place it. And this is done. Now I'm going to put it to cure. Remember, if you're working with LED, it's going to be 1 minute, but I'm working with UV, so it's going to be 2 minutes. Okay, it's completely cured. Now we're going to do exactly the same thing that we did on the first design. We're going to add some shadows. And we're going to use 2 shades darker than the background color. And I'm using over here Everyday Aubergine. And I'm taking just a tiny bit at the end or at the tip of my bow striper and put it on those areas that I want to bring that shadow, okay? To emphasize, to bring out my details, the details that I did as I was doing, or they are applying the gel art paints, okay? So again, on that area. But then again, I'm going to come and I'm going to diffuse it, okay? I'm going to diffuse that color over there. Going to bring it. And now I want to diffuse. So when you diffuse, all what you're doing is just taking the excess out. You want to be sure that it looks shadowy, not that it looks like it is painted, okay? Now again, on the desired areas, whichever is the desired area that you want to emphasize. And like I said before, it could be inside of the white application. Okay, on the top On this area over here, I want to do the same thing, okay? Just to define the mask. On the bottom of the mask, also, shadow it. You're not going to see a big, huge difference. You're only going to see that it's a little bit darker than the first applied color. There we go. I want to apply also where I did the swirl and diffuse the color, diffuse it on the top area, okay, on that area. The same thing. Maybe I want to do a little bit of shadow over here, okay. Bring it down, diffusing it. A little bit more on the top area. And this is it. Now I'm going to put it to cure. Remember, 2 minutes UV, 1 minute LED. Okay, now that it's completely cured, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some elements to the design. And I'm going to use the flawless finish right on the center. And I'm going to add some stones. So I'm going to put a big stone right on that center. And then I'm going to add a few small stones on the bottom. One on the bottom and one on the top. So that's the decoration of my mask. And of course, I'm going to finish the design by taking a little bit of that flawless finish and seal all the shadow areas to be sure that when I clean, it just don't come out. Remember, if you're using gel colored polishes, you must seal them. So every area, I'm going to seal it. And I'm going to cure the design for 2 minutes because I'm using UV. So here we are, 7 different designs with different backgrounds, but using the same Baroque touches technique. How easy was that? I'm sure that if you take this technique and apply it to your creative nail designs, your clients will love it. Until next time, have fun!